What's good? It's your boy Stunner Kid Gunner, and you already know the vibes. Like and subscribe for the channel, baby. And we about to talk about this Diablo beta gameplay real quick. Let's get it on. Alright, so today what I have for you is I'm gonna start doing these character videos where you kind of get an idea of how these characters are. At least, you know, close to 25. I didn't get a chance to play that much, but you know, in this one we're gonna talk about the necromancer, and boy, let me tell you, the devs need to nerf this character into the ground. It is insane how much damage this character can do right off the rip, like straight out the box. You open the package and you bop bop bop, you just destroying the whole map. I'm like, man, like you can see right here in this gameplay, boom boom boom, I figured out real quick, oh snap, it doesn't take any spirit energy to detonate these bodies. They need to fix that. I can just infinitely detonate bodies and do ridiculous amount of damage really quick. I mean, just look how I could just dispatch a large group of enemies. All I had to do is make my sight so every time I chop you is a chance for a piece of you to come off and turn into a corpse, and I can just detonate you to death. Like, look at this, I'm just blasting them away. It's not even right. Like, they need to do something there. They need to make that detonate actually take some spirit energy or something like that, or do, I mean, I can't say do less damage because then the character won't be good. So it needs to take spirit energy, so you can't just spam it to death, because that's, look at that, I just annihilated them with ease. It was just ridiculous. Like, look at this immense amount of damage right out the gate. You can have, like, you know, 4 soldiers maximum without upgrading. Later on you're gonna see that I was able to spawn some mages, so that's an extra 3. So I had 7 of these, you know, beings here attacking for me, plus me doing my attacks. And then the attacks that the necromancer has actually does a fair amount of damage on his own. Like right now, like I have equipped like this, you know, blood explosion thing that I'm doing right now. You see that with the whole circle that comes out, and basically I think that gives you some health back, and it does significant damage around you. And I have that thing where you throw a reaper out with the scythe, and it's like to a certain point, basically every time you throw that thing out, you creating bodies, and then you just detonate them to death. You're like a demolition man with this character. It's ridiculous. I do more damage with my detonate than I do with any of the ability I have on in this game. It's kind of ridiculous. They have to find a way to make it more fair. Basically, it's like if you're a person that just wants to play this game and not have to try that hard, it's like casually come in, put in like an hour or 2, have fun, explore the you know, the game, the content of it, the story, and be able to beat it with a fair amount of difficulty, but not so easy that it's like, you know, boring, but not so hard that you get annoyed playing. This is the character for you. Like, it is straight up out the box slapping, just swinging out, just for the fences right out the box. You don't have to try that hard to get this character to be strong. It's just insane. It is absolutely insane. And so basically in this gameplay, I just have a bunch of footage of me going around doing different missions, doing like I guess the campaign dungeons. Gotta have time to run around doing a bunch of dungeons and stuff. I was trying to do this one and the druid, so you can see that video's coming next. And basically in this gameplay, you're just gonna see, you know, how powerful this character is in this game, and they might have to do something from now until the game comes out to make it more fair compared to the other characters, because then otherwise people are just gonna all want to play necromancers and then that'll be boring. You know, they need to find a way to make the other characters fun to play too. Like you know, each character that you play, you want to feel like you have enough power or tools in your kit, so that way you can dispatch your enemies, you know, in a reasonable amount of time before you get bodied by these elites. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. And so this is basically like the necromancer has abilities, like main regular abilities, like every other characters do for the most part, right? And what makes this class unique is that it has a special mechanic called the Book of the Dead. So basically at level 5, you're able to upgrade your minions and how they're going to be summoned as well. So you can either upgrade your minions with different types of attacks, like basically you can have physical minions and then you can have magical minions and stuff like that, and change their weapon style or how they attack or whatever. Or you can sacrifice the ability to have them for straight up power for your own character. So I mean, I guess as far as having a character with a lot of different ways to play the character, it is just, very versatile character compared to the rest of them. I'm not saying the other ones don't have special things. Like I think the Druids got a special little extra book thing that they can take powers from and adjust their character with that way. But I know the Necromancer, that's a very powerful addition to the character. So, basically my favorite thing is in this characters, in the basic skills at least, is Reap. I like Reap because, as you can see, it's a really ridiculous sized scythe that just swings in front of you, hitting multiple enemies. Also, hitting an enemy improves your actual damage reduction, which is good for you, because you're a glass cannon as this character. There's a couple of times when I was playing, and I would just be swinging away, doing a lot of damage, and then an elite would come up and hit me like 5 times, and I'm dead. So definitely glass cannon. You know what I'm saying? And basically, like once you enhance Reap, if an enemy dies within 2 seconds, you get 30% attack speed. It's just nuts, and you just swinging and just hacking away. And then if you upgrade it with the Acolyte's set way of upgrading Reap, then it forms a corpse under the first enemy hit, and it can occur every 5 seconds. This is what I have on my Reap, because I found out you could just infinitely spam corpse detonation. And it's like, why would you not do that? Since it doesn't take any spirit energy, you can just detonate, to your heart's content. Then, that also has another way you can upgrade it is Initiates. The Initiate side of upgrading it, where it instantly kills targets below 5% HP. Of course, it's not going to work on players and bosses, but it's still really powerful when it comes to you hacking down large, hordes of enemies running at you at the same time. Then, as far as the core skills, at least that I like to choose, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a bunch of them. I'm not gonna go through all of them unless you hit me up in the comments and be like, yeah, I want you to break this character all the way down completely and utterly so that I can understand what I need to do, and I will do that for you. You just gotta let me know. Okay, so I use the Blood Surge. So it's an AoE Nova attack, and it's supposed to draw blood and expel a Nova, right? So the damage is increased by 10% per enemy drain up to 50%, which is why I like it, because in this game, the enemies don't like to let you breathe. I've played all the content you're gonna see on Veteran. I can't play on Easy, it's too easy. I played on Veteran, and the enemies just do not let you breathe. They are just running up all up on you. They're just running up quick, fast. They don't give you a break. And so that's why I like that, because then you can hit all of them at once, and then it's increased by 10% per enemy drain up to 50%. So obviously that's what I want. Also, I enhanced it so that it can heal for HP when 4 more enemies are hit, which is all the time. You know what I'm saying? Then you got paranormal enhancement, where if you're healthy, the enemies damaged by a blood surge grant 1 stack of overwhelming blood. At 5 stacks, your cast overpowers, which is the way I decided to go over supernatural, because I like overpower, because overpower to me helps you dispatch your enemies a little bit faster, in my opinion. I'm sure someone's gonna find a way to make supernatural work better, but for me, Paranormal is better for me because at 5 stacks, it casts the next cast overpowers, and it seems to kill them a lot faster. Supernatural, each time an enemy is hit, you gain fortify 1% of your base life plus 20% damage if your fortify is over 50% of your max HP. That's also good because it can kind of give you some survivability plus increase some of your damage as well. So that's a good way to go if you decide you want to do that. Even though that's not where I wanted to go with it, but if you wanted to do that, then yeah, you can go ahead and do that. The also ability that I decided I wanted to use, I just felt like it would give me some range, which is great, and I don't have to run up myself. So that is Sever. Sever, you throw a specter of yourself forward, and then it chops where you send it at, and then it comes back and does a chop swing. So when you enhance it, it damages enemies along its path to whatever enemy you targeted for 25% of the initial damage. If you go paranormal, every 4th cast applies vulnerable, which was exactly what you want because it'll make the enemies weaker and they'll die faster. Or you can go the supernatural route where it's plus 2% increased damage on impact for every minion that's active. So if you want to have an army of, you want to be running deep with the goons, you know what I'm saying, you gang with your skeletons, you want to do supernatural because then it'll increase your damage on impact for every minion that's active. Right now I only have 7, so it might be better if I upgraded how many minions I had versus what I decided to upgrade. I don't think I got that far in the tree, but I did get far enough to do corpse explosion. So you detonate a corpse to deal damage to surrounding enemies. That is just, it's OP. It's super utterly absolutely broken, Mike. It's absolutely horrendous how broken corpse explosion is. It doesn't even take any spirit power out of you. You can infinitely blow up corpses as long as you can create them. And of course, I enhanced it so you get plus 15% explosion radius, which is nuts because now they're bigger, so it's harder to miss. And then you can go the blighted route where it becomes a darkness infused skill, doesn't explode but creates a miasma or whatever how you say that deals shadow damage over 6 seconds. Or you can do plagued, which is plus 10% increased damage to those that are slowed, stunned, or vulnerable. Bonuses can stack. So either way you go with that, it's gonna be really powerful. I did plagued instead because I like the explosion thing. I want to know that I hit them, so that's why I like the explosion thing a little bit better. But if you want to go the other route where it becomes a miasma, it's like a gas, basically like a poisonous gas thing, you can go ahead and do that. But for me, I didn't want to do that. And then I think I got as far as I got Decrepify. So Decrepify will slow your targets and make them deal less damage. And boy, let me tell you, you need this for the elites. The elites will just run up in your mouth and just start popping off with defensive breaking attacks if you're playing on veteran, at least. I don't know about regular. I haven't played any regular. I play veteran. So on veteran, the elite's gonna run up, do defensive removing moves, like moves that break your defense, and basically they're just gonna hit you like 4 or 5 times, you're gonna die. So this is definitely useful because it slows them down and then they do a little bit less damage, especially for those elites that spawn those shadows of them that you cannot hit, and they're hitting you at the same time you're trying to hit the real one. That's just like really ridiculous. That is like the most frustrating elite in the game. So on this one, you can, if you enhance it, you get lucky hit, 10% chance to stun afflicted enemies when they're hit, which I definitely did that. I definitely put that on. That's the first thing I put on there because I'm like, I love the chance to stun. It stops them from beating on you to death. You can go abhorrent, where the lucky hit is 15% chance and reduces cooldowns by 1 second when you hit afflicted foes. Or you can go horrid, which instantly kills hostiles at 10% life or less if you or your minions hit them while they're affected by a Decrepify. Obviously it doesn't work on bosses because then the game will suck. So I did horrid because it's just better than me. I'm attacking all the time, constantly trying to do as much damage as possible. So if I can instantly kill hostiles at 10% life or less, that's what I want. I want that. I want quick and fast dispatch of my enemies. All right, so I believe that at the level I stopped at with this character, because I just didn't have enough time to really get through it, was the corpse tendrils. So veins burst out of a corpse that's already there, that you create on the ground with your abilities, and then it pulls the enemies and stuns them and does not consume the corpse. Isn't that OP, utterly broken city? Because I can use this, bring them to the corpse, and then detonate all the corpses that are around that one, which I end up doing a lot later on. I think I have gameplay of that. I'm gonna try to slide that in here so you can see that. But basically, I can use this thing. If the veins burst out, pulling enemies in towards the middle of that corpse, it stuns them, and I can just go detonate heaven on them. Just go hard, detonating to death. Look at how I am decimating this boss. I'm just tearing this boss apart. Look at the health. I've barely been fighting this boss. It's insane how much damage I did to this boss already. Because I'm telling you, I fought this boss with the other two characters, and I had a really hard time doing this with the druid. Really hard time. I had a hard time doing this with the sorcerer as well, because the character keeps moving around. It's hard to just sit there and just beat on the boss, and the boss keeps pushing you around, exploding the ground, and healing. I think there's a little bit of healing going on, but basically I wrecked this boss with the necromancer. It was like record time. I'm pretty sure I set a record for beating this boss the fastest way possible at level 15. I just wrecked that boss's life. I just set a world record on speed, on just destroying that boss, because this class is just ridiculous. They have to do something. This class is insane. So I didn't get to the ultimate skills as far as gameplay, but I can read them off to you and then tell you which one I would pick if I was to play this character, which I'm sure I will. So there's 3 different ultimate skills. So Blood Wave, which creates a tidal wave that deals damage and knocks enemies back. If you upgrade it to Prime, it'll slow enemies down by 50% for 4 seconds. And then Supreme will create 3 blood orbs as it travels. Army of the Dead, skeletons emerge for 7 seconds and explode on surrounding enemies. Prime, 15% chance to leave a corpse behind after exploding. And then Supreme also raises your skeletal warriors and mages. Then the last ultimate is called Bone Storm. It creates bones that swirl around you and your golem, dealing damage to nearby enemies for 10 seconds. If you upgrade it to Prime, it's a 15% damage reduction while Bone Storm is active. And if you go Supreme, it's a 20% crit chance while Bone Storm is active. If I had one that I was gonna pick, because you have to also pick with the idea that you're going to end up fighting bosses as well, because the thing is that you can have a lot of damaging attacks for close range, but then I found that in this game you want range for the boss. The bosses are made to just mess you up if you running up in their face. So I would probably pick something where I don't have to get near them, which will be Army of the Dead, because then they'll come and attack the stuff for me. I don't have to put myself in harm's way. I mean, Blood Wave, you can make Blood Wave work, but if it moves around like that demon boss that you just saw me fight, which is moving around and jumping around and teleporting and stuff, you're gonna miss the Blood Wave, and it's just gonna be a waste of time. So I guess you could just switch up your ultimates as need be if that's what you want to do. Like, hey, I'll switch the Blood Wave out for regular enemies, and then when I get to the boss, I go to the Army of Dead. But I mean, I would pick Army of the Dead. You need range so that way you can hit the boss without having to run up so close in their face and risk getting damaged. All right, now with that being said, it's your boy Stunner Kid Gunner You already know the vibes. Like and subscribe for the channel, baby. You already know it's Diablo 4. And if you want me to break these characters down that I'm gonna bring up in next videos all the way down so that you can understand every aspect of the character and what you should do when you get the game, and let me know in the comments, dog. Let me know in the comments. Until then, I'll come back with this druid gameplay so you can see what that looks like. Peace.
Subscribe.